Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Westin PRO TRAXX Nerf Bars, and we're going to see how they fit and how they install on our 2021 GMC Canyon. Now, whenever you're with a truck or an SUV that's going to have some ground clearance to it, that first step up from the ground into the vehicle can be challenging for some. And that's where a set of running boards or Nerf bars is going to come in really handy just to reduce that step up in and out of the vehicle. It just makes it safer for you and for any of your passengers as well. And the PRO TRAXX 4 is going to be an oval shaped Nerf bar. It's going to have a 4-inch wide polymer step. It's got some great grip to it, along with some grooves there that aren't going to let any water or anything like that pool up in it. So it's going to give you some good traction getting in and out. The tube itself, along with the brackets, are going to be a powder coated steel, so they're going to be very durable and very corrosion resistant. And the ends of our tube are sealed on these Nerf bars, which means that you're not going to get any of that gunk or moisture or water or even road salt, any of that inside the tube to corrode it from the inside out. Now, as far as how much this is really going to help us getting in and out of the vehicle, let's go ahead and open it up, and we're going to take a measurement from the ground up to the door threshold. And for that, we're going to be right at about 23 inches to this point here. So if we measure to our step, that's going to be at 16 inches. So we're knocking 7 inches off of that initial step to get up and in, reducing it from doing one of these to just doing one of these. It's much easier to manage. And that's going to be great for getting out of the vehicle as well, particularly if you're picking up passengers like children or somebody who's elderly. Maybe you're picking up grandma or grandpa or something like that. Do them a favor and help reduce that step getting in and out of the truck. Now, installing these running boards is pretty straightforward. It is something that can be done in the driveway if you prefer. You don't need a lift or anything like that. As long as you've got good ground clearance to get yourself in and out from under this portion of the vehicle right here, you're going to be just fine. But just stick around, I'll show you exactly how we got these on our GMC Canyon today. So the first thing we're going to do is prep our mounting locations. Now we're going to be able to find those if we look underneath the vehicle. We're on the passenger side right now. What we're going to find is 4 plugs that go up vertically into the frame. And right next to it you'll see a smaller hole, and above it a plug next to a smaller hole. Now there's 4 mounting locations. We're going to be using starting from the front of the vehicle, the first one, the second one, skip the third one, and do the fourth one, which is located behind the camera there. So the first thing we're going to need to do is undo our plug. So this is the third location. We're going to be skipping that. We've got the first location right here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a flathead screwdriver. If you have a trim tool, you could use that. It can be a little bit tight in here to get the screwdriver in at times, so you might want to have like a box cutter knife or something like that handy as well. But you're just going to work that under, and we're going to remove that plug just like that. And now I'm going to do the one right above it as well. So at this point, with our plugs removed, we see we have this small hole next to it. That's where the bolt's going to be running through for our brackets, but there are no weld nuts in the frame. So what we've got instead are these clips. These clips are going to be providing a place to thread that bolt through and remain up in the frame. So with this kind of more protruding end is going to be up inside the frame. So I'm going to feed that through the larger hole. I'm going to just kind of work it over. Now these can be pretty darn tight fitting, and that's a good thing, but might have to get a little bit innovative with getting this in. What I tend to do is just use the flathead for some leverage if I can, and if that isn't working out all that well, I'm going to just take the end of it like this and just kind of tap on it until we get it worked over enough and can move it into place. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one right up here, and it's going to be that same process on all of our mounting locations. So with this upper one here, it's really hard to get any leverage to get it in going straight over to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it down and then swing the bolt hole over to cover the smaller hole. And now we've got that in place as well. So with all of our mounting locations prepped, we're going to go ahead and grab one of our brackets. Now the brackets are not side specific. There'll be 6 in the entire kit. 3 per side. And again, we're on our passenger side here. And what we're going to do is grab one of the M8 bolts along with an M8 lock washer and an M8 flat washer. And we're going to go ahead and put this up into place. I'm going to start with my vertical bolt here, and I'm just going to hand thread this in to start. We're going to kind of get that in place while we insert our top bolt here. Kind of hold it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to tighten these all the way down yet. I'm just going to hand thread these in. I do want to leave them just a little bit loose. When you're working with these tube steps, the bolts for the Nerf bar itself going onto the bracket can be a little tricky to line up. So I want some maneuverability out of my bracket until I get those secured. But once I'm finished with this, I'm going to do the other 2 brackets on the passenger side here before moving on to the Nerf bar. And if you have trouble getting these to thread in by hand, go ahead and grab your 13mm socket and just work those down. But like I said, don't tighten them all the way down. Leave them just a little bit maneuverable before we get that Nerf bar on. Now we're going to be putting on our bracket covers, and here on the bracket we'll see 2 slotted bolt holes up here. We've got a series of holes back here. It is going to line up with 2 of them, and once we get this slipped on, we're going to slip the bracket right through this space here in the middle and get it on and into place. Now, this is really difficult to see under the vehicle on camera with all the black on black, so I'm going to kind of explain how these are going in. So for each bolt hole, we're going to have one of our M10 bolts, 2 M10 flat washers, and the M10 nut. And the way this will go in is we'll take a bolt and a washer, we'll run it through this way with the threading facing the back of the vehicle. Once it goes through, we're going to finish it off with another washer and the M10 nut to cap it off. Now, it's a pretty tight space. It's very difficult to get a socket in there. I find it easiest if I have a ratcheting 10mm wrench and a fixed one to kind of hold it in place to get those tightened down. So we're going to go ahead and do that on our brackets now. So next we're going to go ahead and grab our Nerf bars. Now pay attention to the packaging. They are indicated for your driver and your passenger side. So the Nerf bars themselves are going to be side specific. So we've got the passenger side one, and on the underside you're going to see 3 sets of bolt holes. Those are going to line up with the cups here on our brackets. Now remember, we left the brackets slightly loose against the vehicle frame so that we can maneuver them a little bit and get those bolt holes lined up. Once we have them lined up, we're going to be taking our button head screw, lock washer, and flat washer, and it's going to go into each of those bolt holes, and we're going to tighten them in using the included Allen tool. All right. Now as you're tightening this down, again, I don't want to tighten it down all the way. These bolt holes are slotted, so I want to make sure I get the pitch adjusted correctly and make sure that these are level before flattening or before tightening them down completely. So at this point, once we have our Nerf bar set, we can go in and get all of our bolts completely tightened down. Pay very close attention to your instructions because each bolt size has a different torque spec that you want to pay attention to. Start by tightening the Nerf bar down onto the bracket and then move to the bracket onto the vehicle frame. And once you've got all your bolts torqued down, the installation is complete. And as far as the driver's side goes, it's going to go on exactly like our passenger side did. The only thing that you really want to pay attention to is that you're grabbing the right Nerf bar. If you remember, they are driver and passenger side specific. But if after watching all of that, you still decide that this is a little bit more than you want to take on your own, go ahead and visit the dealer locator on our website. It'll help connect you to an installer near you that can help get these Nerf bars onto your GMC Canyon. And if after watching this video you still have questions about the installation or about the Nerf bars themselves, or maybe you went ahead and got them and put them on and you've got some experiences to share, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. We would love to hear your story and your questions and share them with other neighbors just like you so they can make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.